What if I told you that you could feed a family of 4 with just 300 bob? Before we go on, we've got to get some basics out of the way. I'm going to be using the unit cost. What does that mean? It means that I'm going to be breaking the cost of an ingredient to its smallest unit. For example, let's start with sunflower oil because that's my preferred oil in most of my cooking. By the time I was purchasing it, which was sometime last year, December towards the end, it was going for 1,107 for 3 liters at Carrefour. What we know is that 1 liter has 1,000 ml, and the price per ml is going to be 0.369 Kenya shillings. Now, 1 tablespoon has 15 ml, which would translate to 5.35 Kenya shillings. Now, to get this, what I simply did was 15 times 0.369 to give me that. And just in case someone is wondering how I got the 0.369 Kenya shillings, that would be me dividing 1 ml by 1,000 ml and multiplying that by 1,107 Kenya shillings to get what the price of 1 ml would be. If this is the kind of content that you'd like to keep coming back to, please consider subscribing if you're not yet subscribed, and ring the notification bell, and also hit the like button. It will reassure me to keep producing a similar content. So let's go right ahead and start cooking. I bought a 1 kg goro of these potatoes. I don't want to cut them up. It's easier to steam them whole in the electric pressure cooker because they'll hold their shapes more easily. I've added a cup of water at the bottom, just enough to ensure that it doesn't touch the potatoes when I place them on top of the steaming rack or the trivet. I'm setting the pressure cooker to 7 minutes, and that is enough to cook them through. And as the potatoes are cooking, let me work on the chicken. I prefer to buy a full chicken and then portioning it out for myself. Much cheaper this way. For this meal, I only needed the chicken breast. So this chicken weighs 1.4 kg and I bought it at 450 Kenya shillings. I'm not a fan of the skin unless I'm having the chicken grilled or fried. I'll also be removing the chicken tenders because let me tell you, these things are super duper expensive. I collect them in a Ziploc bag that I keep in the freezer. When I have enough accumulated, I make chicken fingers with them in case anyone was wondering what I do with these things that I'm pulling out. Next, I'm deboning it so that it becomes easier to cut into bite-sized pieces. The bones will be used to make chicken stock. I'm now going to start cooking the chicken. So to a pan, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of oil. And once it heats up, I'll be adding 1 onion. So cook your onions until just translucent and some of them start turning brown at the edges, okay? I don't like letting the onions brown too much. Then I'll add the ginger and garlic. And at this point I will also add the thyme so that it can cook with the oil and the ginger garlic and release its fragrant aroma. Then next I'll be adding the chicken at this time. So that it can brown and also get to mix with the flavors in the pan. Try as much as possible, depending on the quantity you have, to have it in one single layer. I'll also be adding salt to it. And then I'll just reduce the heat to the lowest, cover, and let everything just cook slowly until the chicken is like 90% done. As you can see, the potatoes are very well done after the few minutes of just pressure cooking. So straight away, what I'm going to do is just transfer the potatoes to another container so that I can mash them. Remember, I have the, what's this thing called, the trivet in here, so I cannot mash the potatoes properly. And over here you can see the chicken is cooking very well, just moving on slowly. Okay, dinner is almost done. So I'm gonna be using the potato ricer for this. I find that it gives me very good results. Okay, don't forget to salt your mashed potatoes, and they can take quite a bit of the salt, so don't be shy about using it. And again, do not forget that the margarine also has salt to it, so be careful not to over salt your food. It's definitely too dry, so I will add the water that I used to steam the potatoes, and it will help things move along very well. I'm gonna keep adding water until the consistency comes to what I would like for it to be. And as you go on, please do not forget to taste for seasoning. Of course, if you're not on the 300 shillings budget, you could always add whipped cream, cooking cream, just something to make it extra creamy. But we are on a budget here, so yes, I think what I've added right now should be enough. And the fact that it's on the keep warm function ensures that the mashed potatoes will not cool down. What I'm going to do is just cover this and let it stay in here as the chicken is also cooking. Now you can see that all the water from the chicken has evaporated and there are all these stuck on bits at the bottom. So the next thing I'm going to do is just add the tomato in here, and then I'll keep cooking at a low heat so that the tomatoes can release their juices. Okay, remember, because the meal is on the very lower side of the spectrum, we have to draw maximum flavor from it. The chicken is more or less done, just some finishing touches remaining. Potatoes are done, they are keeping warm here. And let's start on our veggies, because they are going to take a very short time. I'll start by sauteing the carrots and the dania stalks. And to that, I'm also going to add some salt. I just want them to soften, and that's it. The carrots have softened to my liking, so next I'm going to be adding the cabbages. And the reason I prefer to do it this way is because the carrots release their gorgeous orange color, which transfers to the cabbages. Now let's finish off the chicken. The tomatoes have cooked down completely. They've released their juices that helped in deglazing the bottom of the pan, as you can see. Now I'm going to add some water, not too much, just enough to make a thick stew. If need be, you can add some more. The cabbages are almost done. I'm being careful not to let them become too mushy. In fact, you know what? I think the cabbages are done, so I'll be turning off this burner. Now let me add the finishing touches to the chicken, and that will be dania and pili pili hoho, as my daughter loves to call it. For the non-Swahili speakers, this is just simply green bell pepper or capsicum, okay? Now let's serve up this meal. The mashed potatoes are perfectly seasoned. I am so excited. The chicken looks mouth-watering. And these cabbages, they have such an amazing color. Nothing like my horrible high school experience. That was traumatizing, I tell you. And ta-da! A 300 bob meal done. Don't mind with all the dania that I'm scattering on the food. I'm trying to make it look pretty for the thumbnail, which I think is an absolute failure if you ask me. Thank you all for watching this until the end. Until next time, keep it Jikoni magic. Bye bye.